Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming out on this slightly rainy morning. It's good to see you and your faces. Thank you, Tim, for inviting me to be part of the Community Week initiative, and to my collaborators on Community Week also, and the audience also as well for coming out. My presentation I've titled Community Engagement Praxis. I'm an associate professor in the Chicana and Chicano Studies Department. The courses I teach are reflective of my academic research, professional writing, and cultural studies interests at the university and in the larger community served by UNM. I teach courses in cultural studies and integrate architecture, placemaking, and creative writing methodologies. I have taught in several programs at the University of New Mexico, including creative writing, School of Architecture and Planning, community and regional planning, and now in the Chicana and Chicano Studies Department. The curriculum and classroom atmosphere I strive to create promotes a high level of student engagement and inclusiveness of personal and community histories supplementary to academic study. Through this methodology, students reflect on the course pedagogy and become active in a critical and analytical discourse centered on participation and engagement that draws on cultural and community resources for the acquisition and sharing of knowledge and information. The courses are offered at the undergraduate and graduate levels and are taught in a seminar-style format that oftentimes includes workshopping and multidisciplinary formats and presentation, including digital film production I term digital cuentos. My courses are cross-listed with other programs, creating a multidisciplinary classroom setting that promotes a multiplicity of worldviews, multicultural perspectives, bilingual, trilingual, multilingual language, and social concepts that contribute to a broader knowledge foundation. One of the main components of my courses is student community engagement, focusing on oral history documentation, internship and service learning projects, publication, and engagement in community praxis. An example of a community engaged project was in one of my Acequia water land culture classes. And the title of that assignment was Irrigation Practices in the Santa Cruz watershed. Santa Cruz is just outside of Española. The students' midterm project was to create a poster board presentation based on interviews they conducted with members of the Santa Cruz watershed project. Using notes and audio-visual recordings from the interviews and workshops, the students created a visual text presentation using the conference poster board format. The midterm project was designed to provide assistance to the project's participants and to engage students in an actual hands-on field work experience. Interviews. Under the direction of Don Bustos, Acequia de Santa Cruz Parciante, ex-mayordomo and commissioner, the Acequia class conducted interviews with people from the various acequias in the Santa Cruz watershed. Their interviews focused on irrigation practices and issues regarding water, repartimiento, acequia culture, agrarian traditions, insights on climate change, water rights, and oral histories. The questions and issues that were addressed were provided by Don Bustos. They were also able to form additional questions to complement the project's desired outcomes. The poster boards were based on these interviews, conversations, and site visits to Don Bustos farms and other locations in the Santa Cruz watershed. In addition to the poster boards, a 12 to 15-page paper based on the interviews, conversations, journal notes, audio-video recordings, and field observations was required. For the poster boards themselves, they were to be 24-inch by 30-inch poster boards that would also include their abstracts, excerpts from their papers, photos, and quotes taken from the course readings and interviews. The project's participants have been using the students' poster boards at public venues, including New Mexico Association conferences, the New Mexico State Legislature, and other state entities, when seeking for funding and implementation of projects and programs. The Parciantes of the Santa Cruz Association have also used the boards for public meetings with our other acequia associations, get-togethers, and collaborations. They are continually being used even to the present. I received an email from a student who produced one of the poster boards, a really heartwarming email a few years later after the poster boards were shared with the Santa Cruz Association. And in his email, he said, "Dear Levi, I thought you might like to know I'm getting to reconnect with Don Bustos as I'm supporting the Santa Cruz Watershed Group in my job with the New Mexico Environment Department. Don said he pulled out the posters our classmate just the other day and that people loved them. Your acequias class was one of my favorites and one of the most meaningful and memorable for me as a grad student at UNM. Big thanks for that." Gracias.